Hello, Adab, Namaste. Welcome to a very interesting episode of India's Business Legends. Today we are going to take you on a ride, literally. So today we are going to introduce Mr. Amandeep Singh Sahni, who is the founder of JS Mobileon, which is a company that manufactures e-rickshaws. We've been seeing e-rickshaws all around us for the last decade at least, and they just sprung out of nowhere. So let's know about its story and let's know his own entrepreneurship journey. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi, Sophia.
Hi. So, first up, how are you doing?
I'm good. And how are you doing?
I'm doing well too. Our viewers would want to know, when did you start the company?
So, I started the company back in 2015. Earlier, it was called JS Energy Systems.
Okay.
And in 2015, we made a private limited company. That's JS Mobileon Private Limited. And we merged JS Energy Systems into JS Mobileon Private Limited. So our journey started back in 2013, but since 2016, we actively started marketing the product, increasing our presence in the market. So that's where our journey began.
So 2016 was also the time when there was a lot of noise about Make in India, Chinese products were being curbed.
Absolutely.
And that was the time when we had a lot of e-rickshaw components coming into India. People were just assembling and selling them here.
Absolutely.
So how did you face that challenge?
So initially it was a big challenge because many of the competitors who were just importing, as you said, they were importing the vehicle in part form from China and they were just assembling it over here. And the quality of the product and somewhere the pricing that China was offering was way more, the pricing was far better than what the pricing that we could offer in the market. So initial stages, it was a challenge. But as the market grew and as the Indian customer became aware about the product, they saw that the Chinese product did not fit into the Indian market because at the end, it's a commercial vehicle. At the end of the day, the person who's buying the vehicle wants to ply goods or ply people onto the vehicle. So the durability of the Chinese product was not as good as compared to the Indian product. So that's where after like 2018-19, Indian manufacturing companies who were making e-rickshaws over here, who were making the complete body, chassis, the framework in India, they picked up a lot after that. And likewise, so we had a early mover advantage in this because we had decided this back in 2014 itself. So in 2015, when we formed JS Mobileon, the core agenda was to make the vehicles over here, to manufacture them right from the scratch, and to give a better product to the customers.
So let's go back a little in time and talk about your education. And was it really instrumental in you coming to where you are right now?
I'll say that my education as well as my overall upbringing was very instrumental in what I'm doing right now. So my parents, my relatives, my teachers, all of them were very supportive right from throughout, towards making me or molding me to the person that I am today, and towards guiding me to do what I actually feel passionate about. So after completing my schooling, I did my engineering in mechanical stream. And during my engineering days, I was very passionate about automobiles. I was very passionate about machines. So that's where I felt that I want to get into a business, or I want to start a business which actually focuses on automobiles. So after completing my engineering in 2012, then I pursued an entrepreneurship course from IT Delhi. And that's where this idea came up that electric vehicles was the next big thing. If I go back to 2013,
it was a buzzword.
Exactly, it was something that was very new to India. And but I could see that in the coming 10-15 years or 20 years, it will be a mainstream thing in India. So that's why, and in business or entrepreneurship, it's about starting. It's about holding a position, as I would say, that you make a position in the market. So in 2013 itself, we ventured into this. I started JS Energy Systems and we started making e-rickshaws. And in 2015, the government came up with regulations. The government made e-rickshaws and e-carts a part of the Motor Vehicle Act. So now e-rickshaws have number plates. The drivers have a proper license. There's a proper registration being done of the e-rickshaws, and there's a permit for the e-rickshaw as well. So all these regulations came into place, and that gave a boost to the Indian manufacturers. Exactly.
So what kind of investment did you put in to create such a business?
So the initial investment was somewhere around 5 to 6 years, and down the line, as and when business grew,
Right.
because more machinery installations were required, many the raw material sourcing increased as we grew business. So in on and off, the investment kept on increasing, but the initial
Right.
investment that we started off with was 5 to 6 years.
Yeah, interesting. So over the years, how has the growth been like for you? Has it
Uh,
been a forever linear mark wherein you're going up, or were there ups and downs?
So initially there were ups and downs, I'll say, because people who were importing it from China, they could do good numbers.
Right.
They could import it in good numbers. They could sell very easily because the time duration for doing that was very less, and the pricing that they were offering in the market was very less as compared to the price that we were offering.
Right.
So those years, if I talk about 2016, 17, 18, they were a bit of the years in which we were struggling to make a place in the market. Again, Chinese are very good at developing new things, making alterations, changing
They are.
every 3 months. So every 6 months there used to be a change in the products that were coming from China. Whereas for us it was a difficult task at that time, that our machinery, our capacity was not such that we could change the product every 7-8 months.
Right.
We could do it after a set number of units in order to
Right.
get the die cost out. So that's where we were struggling. But after 2019-20, it has been an upward graph, and we focused a lot on the product. We made a lot of product segmentation. Then we focused on a lot of different markets where we could get good numbers.
Right.
Exactly.
So when you spoke about 2020, that was the year when pandemic struck and everything was stuck down. But that was also the year when suddenly so many e-rickshaws mushroomed.
Exactly.
Because many people thought that it is a great source for livelihood, especially a lot of labor class people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did you see that coming in?
Of course,
and
there
how
was.
were you dealing with it?
So there was a jump in business after the first lockdown, when the markets opened up. So there was a lot of demand for e-rickshaws because people who had gone back to their hometowns, for them e-rickshaws was something that was the first thing, first option of employment, basically. I'll
Right.
say, because at that time jobs were scarce.
True.
There was a lot of many companies had actually closed down businesses at that time. And people who had gone back home, they did not know what to do exactly.
Right.
So e-rickshaw is something that was a very convenient option for them, because with a down payment of 25,000-30,000 rupees, they can actually purchase an e-rickshaw, start plying it, and then earn on a daily basis somewhere around 900 to 1,000 rupees on a daily
Right.
basis. So that became a very lucrative option for everyone who went back home, who went to their native places, and that's why the demand grew in the rural areas or the tier 2 cities.
Right.
So we had a lot of demand coming from various districts of India where earlier the demand was not there. So that's how in 2020, 21, 22, it was almost doubling every year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so the business doubled every year in these 3 years, and now also it is picking up a lot, because now it has become more like a household product.
It has.
So, yeah, exactly. So if I go to many places in Assam where I see that people are buying e-rickshaws instead of a scooty.
Okay.
So a person who wants to just travel, just
Right.
commute. So normally in places like Delhi, Bombay, we buy a two-wheeler. That's the first thing that we think of.
Right.
A two-wheeler is something that if you want to travel, we think of buying an Activa or a Jupiter or
Right,
a
right.
Splendor, a
Right.
normal 100cc bike. But in places like West Bengal, Assam, people have started buying e-rickshaws as a mode of commuting. So they think that it's better to buy an e-rickshaw because the price segment is almost the same.
True.
The fuel cost is very low. The seating capacity is almost 4 times.
Right.
Okay, and parallelly you can use it for your household work, as well as in your free time you can drive it and earn something out of it. So
Right.
that's the kind of mindset that people are now in the rural areas. That with that mindset people are buying e-rickshaws.
Okay. Any personal story that you know of? Any personal growth story that you've seen of somebody who's driving an e-rickshaw and probably grown in that time?
Absolutely. So there's this one guy that I know of, Kamlesh, and so this he sourced his first e-rickshaw from us, and he had come from some town in UP. He was working over here as a labourer, and so in his part time, after working his 8-hour shift, in his part time he used to drive the first e-rickshaw that he bought from us.
Okay.
So with a down payment of 20,000-30,000 rupees, he bought that e-rickshaw and took a loan of another 1 lakh 10,000. Within a span of 3 or 4 months, he paid off that entire loan. So with his income, and that too, he was just working part time with the
Right.
with the e-rickshaw. His main job was as a labourer. So in that part time that he was working in the evening hours, he earned so much money that he was able to clear the loan of 1 lakh 10,000, 1 lakh rupees in a span of 4 months. And after that, he earned a little bit more, then took another e-rickshaw, paid the down payment, took another loan, and bought another one. In a span of 3 years, he bought around like 10 to 12 odd e-rickshaws from us. And so that's how he multiplied his business from one e-rickshaw. In a span of 3 years, he went to owning 10 to 12 e-rickshaws. And he was actually now, so rather than driving it, he was giving it to different drivers and then getting the rent from them.
So he has had a fantastic journey of being self-employed to becoming an entrepreneur himself.
To becoming a businessman itself. Exactly.
Right. So why do you think e-rickshaws are so popular amongst Indians?
So the thing is that, Sophia, the thing is, first of all, low cost of maintenance. That's one thing that is very. If we buy any car, any automobile, be it a commercial vehicle or personal vehicle that we are buying for our own use,
right?
Maintenance is a very big hit when it comes to your annual spending on that car. Is a very big hit that we realize when we buy that vehicle.
Right.
And in the e-rickshaw, the maintenance cost is almost negligible because there are no oil filters that have to be changed. There is no air filter that has to be changed. There is no as such. There is a minor gear oil change that has to be done. That too after set number of kilometers. So that entire expense is cut down. Then the running cost is negligible. If I talk about e-rickshaw, it takes around 4 units to charge one e-rickshaw, and 4 units is somewhere around 28 to 30 rupees is the expense.
Which is almost free.
Almost negligible. And you are doing around 120, 130 kilometers with an expense of 28 to 30 rupees.
Right.
So that is almost negligible. That comes down to like 10 paisa, 20 paisa per kilometer. So that's one of the other reasons why people are preferring e-rickshaws over other IC engine based automobiles, because it's actually you don't have to pay anything to run it. And the income is multiple. It's like multifold as compared to the other vehicles, because it has a seating capacity of 4+1, and so on every trip, normally a person earns around like 60-70 rupees on a trip.
Right.
And throughout a day, if they do n number of trips, or in a metropolitan city, a person would easily earn about 1,100 or 1,200 rupees.
Then when we talk about business, how's your business doing?
So business is doing good. And
how many units are you manufacturing a month?
Right now we're doing around 350-400 units, and by this year end, financial year end, we are planning to be at 600-700 units per month.
Fantastic. And how are you doing turnover wise?
So around last year we closed around like 26 to 27 CR, and this year we are planning to be at 40 CR, 40 to 45 CR.
Right. So that's an interesting story of yours. Who is your inspiration?
So I'll not say that I have any one particular inspiration as such, but because throughout my childhood I've been inspired by people around me. That's one thing. And then when I grew up after my schooling, I kept on reading a lot about different entrepreneurs, and that's where I get my inspiration from. I read a lot about everyone's life, what hardships they faced when they were starting their entrepreneurial journey. What were the solutions that they came up, they found out the solutions, and then adapting their solutions, their hardships, and finding the way out. That's what I work upon. So I'll not say that I'm inspired by any one particular person. There are numerous people that I'm inspired from, and I've just picked up the good points from everyone in my journey.
This is actually very true about entrepreneurship, and this is why India's Business Legends is coming out week after week with interesting stories, so that you can also know about different things and how different entrepreneurs are acing the challenges. Talking about challenges, what were the biggest challenges in your industry?
So in our industry, the biggest challenge initially was the approvals, because we have to get a vehicle approved from the there are 7 agencies in India which approve motor vehicles. So you have to send your vehicle over there, get the approvals done. And then after getting that done, you have to get the state approvals also.
Right.
So every state that I plan to sell my vehicles into, we have to get the state approval for that particular state also. So initially, a lot of time and a lot of resources were spent into getting those approvals. And now the government has taken a lot of effort to make it online. So now the things are better as of today.
Right.
So now it's more of an online process. So once you get the central approval, all the states are automatically notified about it.
Okay.
And you don't have to go for a separate state approval altogether. So, but back in those days, like 2015, 16, it was a mandatory step that you have to take your vehicle to every state, get it approved over there, Then once you get that approval, then your dealer has to get the approval done.
All right.
So that process was very cumbersome, very tiring,
Right,
and
true.
that took out a lot of resources from the company. So that's something that has improved over the period of time. And again, sourcing of parts, because e-rickshaw is something that is that did not have ready-made parts. So I'll say that the parts were not easily available in the market. So either we were dependent upon China, that's one thing, or either we had to develop those parts.
Okay.
Everything had to be developed. The vendors have to be developed. So there are many vendors who were initially making parts for maybe 2-wheelers or 4-wheelers, and then we approached them. We gave our products to them. We showed them that these are the parts that we want to get manufactured, and then they made the molds and dies and everything. After that, those parts were made. So that again was a very time-consuming thing in the initial days. But now once the wheel starts churning, so after that it's a easy story. Now marketing is a big task.
Right.
Finding good dealers, distributors in the market.
True.
Now that's, as of today, that's a task that we're working on.
Especially because of the competition you have.
Absolutely.
And when we talk about spreading down to India, where all do you have your presence?
So right now we are present in around 9 to 10 states. So mainly our presence is very good in Assam, West Bengal, then Jharkhand. Then we are also present in Bihar, UP, Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh,
Right.
then Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, all these areas. So
Basically most of the north states.
North and
right?
the eastern states,
North
we are present
northeast
over here.
states.
And now our plan is that in the coming financial year or later part of this financial year, we'll start moving towards Chennai, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, all these places also.
Interesting. Do you believe in
coffee.
manifestation since you're
Absolutely,
reading
I
a
do.
book?
Yeah, I do.
What did you manifest and that came true?
Everything till now. Whatever I'm doing till now. So
Right.
somewhere down the line, I imagined it. I thought of it, and that's why it is happening today.
Right.
So yeah. So another good thing about manifestation is that you have to actually, feel that yes, this thing is happening. That feeling.
Right.
So you have, most of the people, they manifest something, and then down the line, even that thing happens,
They don't
but they do not,
realize.
realize it. So you have to
Right.
realize that yes, this is what I had, manifested back then, and this is
Right.
happening, or these events are happening. So
Absolutely.
exactly.
Being the founder of JS Mobileon, you're also always mobile. You're traveling a lot.
Exactly.
This is what we came to know
Exactly.
just now. So how do you manage so much of traveling?
So that's something that. So as an entrepreneur, you have to meet many
Right.
people, and then time is again very important. That opportunities are not going to stay for you. So if I see an opportunity that tomorrow I have to be in X part of India, and there's an opportunity over there, so I'll make sure that I reach over there somehow or the other. So I do a lot of traveling, and in the last 2 years especially, I've been traveling a lot to different places, because our market is such that the distributors and the dealers, they should be in regular touch with the
Right.
company. So although the product might be good, the services that you're offering might be good, but if still the network, your sales network or channel feels that they're not in touch with the company, or they're not heard about,
Right.
because it's a new product, so there are a lot of suggestions that we get from the market.
Right.
And specifically because I'm involved in the design aspect and also the R&D of the product, so these feedbacks are very important for us. So
Right.
that's why, and sometimes there are issues. Health toll is also there, that
True.
with a lot of traveling, you're not able to focus on your health. You're not
Right.
able to work out regularly. You're not able to eat good food,
True.
healthy food, I'll say. So that of course is the negative side of it. But again, with traveling, that we get to learn a lot.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I look forward to.
Amandeep, so what's the manufacturing process like of the e-rickshaws?
So we do it right from the scratch, right from pipes, sheet metal, and sourcing all the raw material,
Right.
and then making the chassis, the body, the complete fabrication, then the paint process of the vehicle happens, then the assembly of the vehicle. So I'll just give you a look around our plant. And
For sure,
Yeah, exactly.
please. We would be delighted.
Sure.
And viewers would also love that. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
The first thing that we do is we source the raw material, that is basically pipes, sheet metal, and other iron stuff. We source CRC sheet metal, CRC pipes, which is very high quality pipes and sheet metal. It has a very good tensile strength, and that's why the main framework of the e-rickshaw, the base of the e-rickshaw, has a durability of around 7-8 years, as compared to the other e-rickshaws that are being imported from China, which have durability of only 1 or 2 years. So once these pipes are cut and the sheet metal is also cut and bent into its particular shape, they're put into a fixture, and then the tacking of the pipes is done. Once the tacking is complete, it goes on to the weld line where we weld each and every pipe together properly. If you notice, all the pipes are properly welded. There is no space left for any air bubbles. There is no space left for any other gap in the pipes. Once the welding is done, likewise the same process is also done for the boxes. This is the chassis line and this is the box line. The same process is followed. The boxes are welded, the pipe, sheet metal, everything is welded, and a full structure is made out of it. Once this is completed, the complete frame goes onto the grinding section, where all the irregularities or the weldments that have been done are given a proper finish. There is no protrude, any burr or any other substance that might be harmful for the person who's sitting on the vehicle. We get that removed in this area. Once the grinding is done, it goes for the paint job to the paint area. In the paint area, first of all, we do sandblasting. Sandblasting is done for removing any impurities that are there on the surface of the vehicle. So let's say grease or oil marks or welding marks, or some welding gases are also stuck onto the surface of the vehicle. So that is removed completely. Once that is done, the vehicle goes for the paint job. There are 3 steps in the paint job. First, we do a primer, that is the base coat. Then we come on to the color coat, and then the clear coat. Once all these 3 steps are completed, the vehicle goes into an oven where it is baked for the prescribed amount of time. Once the baking is completed, the paint job is completely done, and then the vehicle comes for the assembly process. In the assembly process, we have different components like tires, rims, gearbox, motor, controller, the front shockers, the rear leaf springs. All these vehicles are, all these parts are basically sourced from different vendors as per our requirement, and these parts are then fitted onto the vehicle, and a complete fully assembled vehicle is presented.
Thank you so much for your time. Your journey has been truly inspirational.
Thank you.
And I'm sure our viewers would have enjoyed this ride that we took you on. And we'll be back next time with yet another episode. Bye-bye for now.